Have you ever noticed your legs feeling unusually heavy? Almost like they're carrying extra weight that wasn't there years ago? Maybe you stand up after sitting for a while and your legs feel stiff, slow, or slightly numb. Some seniors describe a dull ache in their calves when they walk. Others notice their feet feel colder than the rest of their body, and many quietly watch their ankles swell by the end of the day. If any of this sounds familiar, you're not alone. As a surgeon, I've seen thousands of people over 55 experience these exact symptoms, and most of them ask the same worried question: is my circulation getting worse? Here's something many people don't realize. Poor leg circulation is incredibly common as we age, but it rarely begins with dramatic warning signs. It often starts quietly: a little heaviness in the legs, mild swelling, tingling in the feet, or fatigue when walking longer distances. Many people assume it's simply part of getting older, so they ignore it. But in reality, these small signals are often your body's way of telling you that blood flow in the legs is slowing down. Now, the surprising part is this. In many cases, improving leg circulation doesn't start with medication, expensive treatments, or complicated medical procedures. Very often, the solution begins with movement, a very specific movement. In fact, there is one simple, fast exercise that many vascular surgeons quietly recommend to help activate blood flow in the legs, and when done correctly, it can start working in less than a minute. To understand why this works, you need to know something fascinating about the human body. Your heart pumps blood throughout your body, but when it comes to returning blood from your legs back to your heart, your body relies heavily on your muscles, especially the calf muscles. Doctors often call this the second heart of the body. Every time your calf muscles contract, they gently squeeze the veins in your legs and push blood upward toward the heart. Without that pumping action, blood can begin to pool in the lower legs. Unfortunately, modern life makes this problem worse. Many seniors spend long periods sitting, watching television, reading, driving, or working at a computer. When the legs stay still for too long, the calf muscles remain inactive, and that natural pumping system slows down. Over time, this can lead to swelling, heaviness, fatigue, and sometimes even more serious circulation issues. I remember one patient named Robert, a 71-year-old retired teacher who came to see me with constant leg fatigue. By the afternoon, his ankles were swollen, and when he walked around his neighborhood, his calves began to ache. He feared something serious was wrong, maybe blocked arteries or a condition that might require surgery. But after examining him and running several tests, the real problem turned out to be far simpler. Robert's leg muscles had become inactive after years of sitting for long stretches during the day. The natural muscle pump that pushes blood out of the legs had become sluggish. So instead of prescribing medication, I taught him one small exercise, something he could do almost anywhere, even while sitting. It took less than 60 seconds, and at first he was skeptical that something so simple could make any real difference. But within a few weeks, he came back with a smile. The swelling in his ankles had reduced, his legs felt lighter, and walking no longer caused the same tight aching sensation in his calves. He told me something I've heard many times over the years. "Doctor, I wish someone had shown me this earlier." In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly why leg circulation slows down as we age, the hidden habits that quietly make it worse, and the one fast exercise that can help wake up the natural blood flow system in your legs. By the end, you'll understand how your body moves blood upward from your feet, why certain daily routines sabotage that process, and how a simple movement done consistently can help your legs feel stronger, lighter, and more energized again. Type continue for the next part. To really understand why this simple exercise works so well, we need to talk about something most people have never heard explained clearly. It's called the calf muscle pump. And in the medical world, many doctors actually refer to it as the body's second heart. That may sound dramatic, but once you understand how it works, it makes perfect sense. Your heart is responsible for pumping oxygen-rich blood down through the arteries into your legs and feet. But returning that blood back up to the heart is a different challenge. Gravity is constantly pulling blood downward, especially when you're standing or sitting. So your body relies on the powerful muscles in your calves to help push that blood upward through the veins. Every time you walk, flex your ankles, or tighten your calf muscles, those muscles gently squeeze the veins in your legs. Inside those veins are tiny one-way valves that keep blood moving in the right direction, upward toward the heart. When the calf muscles contract, blood is pushed through those valves step by step, almost like climbing a ladder. But here's where the problem begins for many seniors. When the legs stay still for long periods of time, sitting in a chair, Watching television, driving, or working at a computer, those calf muscles barely move. And when the muscles stop squeezing the veins, blood flow slows down dramatically. Over time, that slow movement of blood can lead to the symptoms many people notice but rarely connect to circulation. Legs start to feel heavy or tired. Ankles begin to swell later in the day. Some people notice tingling or numbness in their feet. Others develop a tight cramping sensation in the calves when walking short distances. I've even had patients tell me they assumed their legs were simply getting weaker with age. But the truth is often much simpler than that. The muscles are still capable of working, they're just not being activated often enough to keep the blood moving efficiently. This is why you sometimes hear about circulation problems during long airplane flights. When passengers sit still for many hours without moving their legs, blood can begin to pool in the lower limbs. That's why doctors always recommend standing, stretching, or flexing the ankles during long travel. And interestingly, the same principle applies to everyday life at home. Many retirees spend more time sitting than they did during their working years. A comfortable chair, a good television program, maybe a few hours reading or browsing on a tablet. None of these things are harmful on their own. But when hours pass without activating the leg muscles, circulation begins to slow. Now, here's where a very common myth appears. Many people believe that improving circulation requires intense exercise like long walks, jogging, or going to the gym. While those activities can certainly help, they're not the only solution. In fact, for many seniors who have joint pain, arthritis, or balance issues, those options may feel difficult or even intimidating. The good news is that the circulation system in your legs responds very quickly to even small movements. The veins don't require extreme effort. They simply need the calf muscles to contract and relax regularly. That gentle squeezing motion is what restarts the natural pump. This is exactly why the simple exercise I'm about to show later in the video works so effectively. It directly activates the muscles responsible for pushing blood upward from the lower legs. And because it's gentle and controlled, it can be done by almost anyone, even while sitting. Before we get to that exercise, though, there's something very important I want you to know. Many seniors unintentionally make a few daily mistakes that actually worsen circulation problems without realizing it. These habits seem harmless, but over time they can make the legs feel heavier, slower, and more fatigued. In the next section, I'm going to walk you through the exact exercise that helps activate circulation quickly, along with several simple daily habits that support healthy blood flow in your legs. I'll also explain a few common mistakes that many people make, mistakes that might be quietly making your circulation worse. Now let's talk about the simple movement that can begin waking up circulation in your legs almost immediately. I often tell my patients that this exercise is one of the easiest ways to restart the natural muscle pump in the lower legs. And the best part is that you can do it almost anywhere. You don't need special equipment, you don't need a gym, and you don't even need to stand up if standing feels uncomfortable. It's called the calf pump exercise, and it works by gently activating the muscles that push blood upward toward the heart. To begin, sit comfortably in a chair with your feet flat on the floor. Keep your back relaxed and your shoulders loose. Now slowly raise your heels off the ground while keeping your toes touching the floor. Hold that position for a second or two, feeling the calf muscles tighten slightly. Then gently lower your heels back down. After that, reverse the motion by lifting your toes upward while your heels stay on the floor. Again, hold for a second. Then relax. This simple up and down motion activates the calf muscles in a controlled way, encouraging the veins to move blood upward. What's fascinating is how quickly the body responds to this movement. Within seconds, the calf muscles begin squeezing the veins, and that gentle pressure pushes stagnant blood out of the lower legs. Many seniors tell me they actually feel a light warmth or a subtle sense of relief in their legs after doing this for just a minute or two. It's not dramatic or sudden, but it's often noticeable. Now here's something important. Consistency matters more than intensity. You don't need to do hundreds of repetitions. In fact, doing this slowly for about 30 to 60 seconds every hour while sitting can make a meaningful difference over time. If you're watching television, reading, or sitting at a computer, this movement can easily become part of your routine. Think of it as giving your legs a small circulation reset throughout the day. Walking, of course, is still one of the best ways to support healthy circulation. Even a short 10-minute walk activates the muscles in your calves and thighs, helping blood move more efficiently through the veins. But I always remind my patients that circulation isn't just about exercise sessions. It's about how often your muscles move throughout the entire day. There are also a few simple daily habits that can quietly support better blood flow in the legs. Staying hydrated, for example, helps maintain healthy blood volume and makes it easier for the circulatory system to function efficiently. Gentle stretching in the morning can loosen stiff muscles and encourage early blood flow after a night of lying still. Even elevating your legs slightly while resting can help gravity assist the return of blood toward the heart. At the same time, there are common mistakes many people make without realizing the impact they have on circulation. Sitting for very long periods without moving the legs is one of the biggest. Crossing the legs tightly for hours can also slow blood flow through certain veins. And wearing extremely tight socks or clothing around the calves can sometimes restrict circulation rather than support it. Another mistake is assuming that discomfort in the legs should always be ignored. While mild fatigue or heaviness can be common, persistent pain, significant swelling, or sudden changes in skin color should always be evaluated by a healthcare professional. Circulation is something we should respect and care for, not something we simply tolerate when it begins to feel wrong. The encouraging news is that the body is remarkably responsive when we give it the right signals. Even small movements repeated throughout the day can help reactivate systems that have become sluggish over time. The calf pump exercise is a perfect example of how a gentle action can support a very important function inside the body. And when combined with regular walking, simple stretching, and mindful daily habits, many seniors begin to notice that their legs feel lighter, more energized, and less fatigued by the end of the day. As a surgeon, I've learned something very important over the years. The human body is incredibly resilient. Even after decades of habits that slow things down, the body still responds when we give it the right signals. Circulation in the legs is a perfect example of this. Many people assume that heavy, tired legs are simply part of aging and that nothing can really be done about it. But in reality, the body is often just waiting for movement to restart the systems that have quietly slowed down. Think about what we discussed today. Your legs have their own natural pumping system. The calf muscles act like a second heart, gently squeezing the veins and pushing blood back toward the chest. When those muscles stay active, blood continues moving. Oxygen reaches the tissues, and your legs feel stronger and lighter. But when those muscles stay still for long periods, sitting in a chair for hours, remaining inactive day after day, the pump becomes sluggish. Blood begins to pool, swelling appears, and the legs start sending signals that something isn't right. The powerful part of this story is that the solution doesn't always require dramatic changes. Sometimes it begins with something as simple as waking those muscles up again. A gentle calf pump exercise while sitting. A short walk around the house. A few moments of stretching in the morning. Small actions that remind the body how it was designed to move blood naturally. I often think back to patients like Robert, the retired teacher I mentioned earlier. When he first came into my office, he truly believed his legs were failing him. He worried that something serious was developing inside his body. But the real issue was that his muscles had simply become too quiet. Once he started activating them again, even with a small movement, the circulation in his legs began to improve. And what I want you to take away from this video is hope. Your body still has the ability to support healthy circulation. Those muscles in your calves are still capable of doing their job. Sometimes they just need a gentle reminder to start working again. If you begin practicing that simple calf pump exercise during the day, even for 30 seconds at a time, you may gradually notice changes. Your legs may feel less stiff when you stand up. Swelling may begin to ease. Walking may feel smoother and more comfortable. These small improvements can add up over weeks and months, helping you maintain the freedom to move with confidence. Remember, circulation is not just about comfort. Healthy blood flow nourishes your muscles, your nerves, and your skin. It supports healing, mobility, and overall vitality as we age. When your legs move well, it becomes easier to stay active. And staying active is one of the greatest gifts you can give your body in later years. So today, start with something small. The next time you're sitting in your favorite chair, gently lift your heels, then your toes, and feel those calf muscles wake up. It may seem like a tiny action, but inside your body, an important system is beginning to work again. And if you found this information helpful, consider sharing it with someone you care about. Many seniors struggle with leg fatigue and poor circulation without ever realizing that simple habits can make a difference. If you'd like to continue learning more practical health insights designed especially for seniors, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments if you've ever experienced heavy or tired legs during the day. Your experiences often help others realize they're not alone. Take care of your body, keep your legs moving, and I'll see you in the next video.